I'm going to show you a couple things that may be of use to you in your projects in ArcGIS.com. First of all, I've got King County farmers markets up on here, and I have shown you before in class how to calculate drive time buffers for that. Here we are with King County farmers markets portrayed as points. Click on the analysis tab here, or the button, and we are looking for find locations. Yeah, proximity is it. Create drive time areas. I showed you where that is before. We are going to not do that. I've already done it, and that what I've done is portrayed farmers markets using 10-minute drive time area using that analysis tool. So you can see pretty good coverage, but what the heck is 10 minutes driving in Seattle? I don't believe it. I don't know if you can really get to these places within 10 minutes. What you may also want to do after you've created an enrichment layer like this is calculated a drive time or walk time area like this, or any other thing that you do, is add data from Living Atlas. And I've done that. I'll show you how. First of all, here is we've got 10-minute drive from King County farmers markets, and we want to enrich that with some information available from Living Atlas. So I turned it back on. I clicked on Perform Analysis, and I am going to enrich or enhance, which is data enrichment here. Just one option, but you get a lot of choices. So choose the layer that you're enriching, 10-minute drive from King County farmers markets, and you can choose variables here. These all will be coming from Living Atlas. So click right there. I am going to find households. I'll be using that in a minute. That comes up pretty easily. And then I'm going to go hit the back button, and I will find, I think it's behaviors, household, 2017 household owns or leases any vehicle. So I've got those two selected. You can imagine where this is going. I'm going to try to show basically who owns cars, percentage of households owning cars within these 10-minute drives. We can leave this alone. I'm going to give it a unique name, and it'll take a few minutes to run. So I've already gone ahead and done that for you, but that's the basic setup. If you need something to there's tons and tons of stuff on Living Atlas. Just make sure that you understand your data enough to know when you need to normalize. And in this case, I am looking at car owning percentages of households within these drive times. So when you click Run Analysis, it will enrich these polygons, the King County polygons, with that vehicle info. So I'm going to send that away and show you what it looks like when the analysis runs. And here that is. And to show you what the legend looks like, I've set it up as it's a fairly narrow range, somewhere between 80 and 90%, with the smallest percentages of households owning cars in the area of kind of central Seattle, as you might expect. So back to content. And let me just show you the setup for, while I'm here, the setup for symbolizing this. You go to the symbology button, and let's just start from scratch. Choose an attribute to show. Household owns or leases any vehicle. Let's add a second one. That's where you can get useful with showing percentages and do some other tricks. So add a second attribute, total households, and then the second panel here, select under compare A to B, and then you'll get some options here, and this is where you get the chance to show percentages. Right now it's showing ratio of A to B. You click labels and it shows A as a percent of both of them, not very useful. The third option down here, show A as a percent of B, is what we want. And you can change the range of things. I'm going to take it up to 100% here and down to 75% here. And there we go. So hit OK there and done. And look at the legend, and not quite what I was expecting, but we'll go with it. So back to content. Another thing that you can do with Living Atlas is you can create brand new data that you get to hang on to and keep and use for analysis in Living Atlas, even if you don't have pre-existing polygons or whatever you want to enrich. So let me show you about that. I'm going to turn off this, just keep farmers markets on for the minute. Go up to and don't choose analysis under a particular layer, just choose the main analysis button up here. Analysis, data enrichment, and enrichment layer. Now this time we're not going to do anything to existing layers. We're going to choose a Living Atlas layer to enrich, and that will pop open all kinds of interesting choices here, interesting to me anyway, of boundaries and things that you can put or enrich new data into. And I'm going to look for tracks and hit return, and we want US census tract areas, and let's select some more variables to put into. So that's going to give us empty polygons with census tract areas. Let's select some variables to go in there. Let's do the same thing that we did before. Total households, and behaviors was where we found household owns or leases any vehicle. We got those same two variables, and you should give it a unique name. You won't be fiddling with this, and then hit run analysis. So that will I think it make sure you select the button that says use current map extent, or you will be here for a while it does that process for the entire US census tract. So always choose current map extent and make sure it's an extent that you can live with. Hit the run analysis when you're ready, and it will take a while again, so I've skipped past that, and here is census tracts with cars, and the legend for that, I've symbolized it as before. I've done a compare A and B, and here are my farmers markets, and I'm comparing. Basically what this looks like is what percentages of people have cars in the greater Seattle area with reference to the farmers markets. You could turn on the 10-minute drive layer, but you'd have to do some fancy symbolizing, maybe do a proportional symbol or a graduated symbol map to make that meaningful. So there is a little bit more info for you from Brian and from ArcGIS.com.